able to overcome a 9-minute stretch without a field goal there, but talk about that and being able to overcome that to win the game.
Yeah, I don't think it was probably a real good second half for either team offensively. One of the things I think that happened in the game, because we had so many young guys on the floor, at times that group of guys can struggle to score, and it probably put too much pressure on Irving Walker and Kenny Boynton. But we had a hard time manufacturing points. I mean, give FSU a lot of credit. Their kids really guarded pretty well. I thought in the first half when we had pretty good player movement, ball movement, some real good things happened for us offensively, and we shot 47 to 48%. But certainly in the second half is probably a combination of some poor shot selection by us and some really good defense by them.
What about Murphy and the way he kind of came on down the stretch? What gave you the confidence to play him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of him. It took a while for him to even get into the game. He knocked down a three right before the half there. That was a big three to give us a 9-point lead. And, it was a game where, he was playing well. When he was in there, he was playing well and just kept, putting him back in there, putting him back in there. And he did a lot of good things. I thought the zone helped him, where maybe a little bit in the first half he got matched up man-to-man on Singleton, which was a tough matchup for him. But I think in the zone it allowed him to rebound the ball and play an area and didn't maybe have to play Singleton man-to-man, and probably the zone really helped him, do a lot more for our team.
You talk about the left-hand reverse that he seems to always make, I guess, down there on Kenny's air ball.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the ending of the play. The ending of the play was supposed to be Chandler coming off along the baseline, and it was a tough shot by Kenny. And we were fortunate. Obviously we wanted to try to take the clock down, and we figured we'd try to get a decent look at the basket. And Eric's always been a pretty good offensive rebounder, and that was really kind of a lucky play. I don't know if whoever was near him on FSU blocked out or didn't block out, but sometimes it's really difficult to rebound in a block out on an air ball. And certainly it wasn't a great shot, but it was a nice play by Eric, and having the wherewithal with the shot clock winding down to put it back up and in and give us a 4-point lead.
You guys managed to out-rebound them, even though it seemed that, I guess, at most positions, if not all positions, they had height advantage.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in the backcourt they're probably bigger, but I thought that Florida State last year was much bigger than they are right now. When you talk about Allaby and Reed and Singleton across the front line, Singleton was a small forward last year, so we've got some pretty good length across our front line. Now I agree that in the backcourt position with Snare and Kitchen, with Boynton and Walker, they're a lot bigger. And but Chandler Parsons is 6'9", he's taller than Dokas, and Xavier Gibson and Macklin are probably right around the same size, and Alex Tyus and Singleton are probably about the same size.
Tyus played 3 minutes in the second half today. What was going on there?
Well, I think in the second half, we didn't get off to a very good start. I think we gave them 5 points right away. They cut the lead from 9 to 5, or whatever it was. We subbed, and really it was the young guys that got a lead for us. We went up by 13 points. Certainly those guys weren't going to be able to play the whole half. We came back with Alex and Vernon in the second half, and the lead went right back down to about 5 or 6 or whatever it was. And we came right back in with the young guys. So it was really more. Alex had a couple tough plays where he missed a block out and a loose ball, and they got an offensive rebound put back, and then they pressed us, and then he jumped in the air and tried to make a tough shot, and we turned it over. They scored again. But before you know it, and I felt like in the game we were struggling to score regardless, and I just felt like I decided to go with maybe our better defensive team, and I thought Will Uget and Patrick, and even when Casey was out there, gave us a little bit better defenders, rebounders, and better at loose balls and those kind of things. So that's the one thing that was good about the win, is we were fortunate enough to win the game, and you got 2 of your seniors and older guys in Alex and Vern that played 14 and 13 minutes. And it's a great confidence builder, I think, for our young guys, especially for Eric and Patrick and Will Uget, even Casey Prather, to get in there and really contribute, on the road like that.
Take 2 more questions.
Snare's kind of struggled getting off this year offensively. When you hit that three, did you think you might try to get it?
Yeah, I thought we had a couple breakdowns. I don't know. In the second half, the one play was a heartbreaker there. I think we were inside of a minute, and they threw the ball underneath that bounce play, and Boynton almost stole it, and we kind of got out of position. They found him when he was open. But I really felt like most of his looks were pretty wide open. He got some good looks. And I think anytime you're a good shooter and you see the ball go in the basket and you keep getting some pretty decent looks, That's going to happen. But I thought he scored some of his points against our press where we a couple times trapped too early and too quick, and they threw it out quickly, and they had some 3-on-2, 4-on-3 situations, and they were able to find him, and he did a nice job knocking it down.
Last question. The job that you did on Singleton that night, just all the two fronts, like you were doubling him a lot.
Well, I mean, I think, he's such a unique and complete player, and I think we've played against some really interesting guys this year in Sullinger from Ohio State, and then, Fareed from Morehead State. We played against some really talented guys, but in terms of being a complete player, he's really, I think, totally complete. But the one thing, I think because of his ball handling skills and decision making, I think Leonard uses him a lot in the backcourt to handle the press and handle some of those things. But when you're a front court player and as versatile as he is, sometimes in the zone it's hard to kind of get into a flow. And we tried to find a way to kind of break their flow offensively a little bit. And I don't know if we did necessarily a great job on him. I think he was 2 for 12. When you're a great player like that, you go 2 for 12. A lot of times you're not making shots. And I've seen enough of him on film where he's been 5 for 5 in the first 8 minutes of the game. So I'm not going to sit here and say we did this phenomenal job on him defensively. It's probably a combination of the zone. Maybe took him out of some rhythm, and he missed some shots.
Thanks, guys. So my guys, 2